and streams in the wasteland. But we also recognize that for some, this walk carries deep emotion because it honors the memory of loved ones we've lost to substance use. To those who carry that pain today, know that your grief matters. God sees your sorrow and He walks beside you in it. His word promises in Psalms 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. So as we walk for healing, for remembrance, and for hope. We walk to remind every hurting heart that God can bring beauty out of ashes, that He can turn mourning into joy, and that even in loss, love lives on. This 1 mile walk isn't just about movement, it's about meaning. It's a celebration of life, of recovery, of new beginnings, and of faith that keeps us moving when the road gets hard. So today, walk free, walk strong, walk with gratitude, knowing that through Christ, freedom is possible, healing is real, and victory is coming. Let's walk this mile with joy, with compassion, and with hearts full of hope. Because God is doing a new thing right here, right now, in every single one of us. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Pastor. That was beautiful. Angel Moms. I would like to welcome the women who started this all, the Angel Moms.
Hi, everyone. I just really want to welcome you all to our 3rd annual Souls Walking for Souls event. And we're so happy that you could be a part of this with us here today. I know many of you in the audience here have also lost somebody really important in your life. And we just want you to know that we're here to honor your children and your family members just like we are honoring our own children. This is for all of us, not just for us moms up here, but for every one of you that has lost somebody. This is for you. And one thing I want to say that is actually good is I went to the governor's website and I read some really amazing statistics about fentanyl. So as you know, 22 and 23 were the actual highest years for fentanyl deaths in the state of Texas. But guess what? That's dropped 42%. We're making a difference. The governor's making a difference. All of us moms are making a difference. All of you are making a difference. You are saving lives. Our naloxone, the Narcan, is saving lives. So we are doing something phenomenal, and I just want to tell you guys, keep up the great work because it's working. Okay, and I just want to bring up my oh wait, who's coming? I'm sorry. Martha's coming next. I just wanted to say this is my son, Kyle. And Kyle passed away in 2022. And I'm lucky enough to have other children that are so important to me. And I have my other son, Cameron, here today that is been a big help, as well as my husband, Salvador. So I just want to thank them. And then I'd like to welcome Martha to come up.
Hello, I'm Martha Johnson. I'm Jake, Ryan's grandma. Well, he calls me Mimi. I just want to thank everyone that has come out with your, for supporting us and spreading awareness. That's what we're here for. We need to keep on spreading this awareness of fentanyl. So talk to everyone you know, and I even hate to say this, but youngest 10 up. Tell them about it. Tell them. Just let them know that it looks like candy, gummy bear, not to take anything from anyone. Jake took one pill. He struggled with anxiety, and it was, he asked a friend for something for anxiety. They gave him an oxy, and it killed him. A friend of ours, Michael Ann, says, and this is true, one try, you die. And that's what it is. So thank you all my friends, family that is here. Thank you all for being here and supporting us. Governor Abbott, thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nikki. This is my son, Braden. We lost at the early age of 21. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you to my family and friends that have shown up. I want to recognize two very important people that sometimes we forget about. We always spotlight the moms and the dads, and sometimes we forget about the siblings. Braden's brother and sister are here. Pat and Abby, they're back here. Sometimes we forget about them, and they have an entire lifetime that they have to live without their siblings. So love y'all. Thank you for being here.
Hey, y'all. Kathy Drago here. Thank you so much for coming out today. This is my beautiful son, Cody, that I lost in 2022 at 28 years old. And I had decided right after he passed away, it was time to take my pain and turn it into a purpose. I met these lovely women and so have been supported in such a beautiful way by so many people. I thank you all for being here today. You have no idea how much it means to us, how much it means to our community and to the state of Texas. I want to thank this amazing panel that is here today. Governor Abbott, Mayor Jones, oh my gosh, Chief McManus, I've been waiting for you for 2 years to get here. I'm just so excited that this group of people are up here supporting our mission in fighting fentanyl and getting this poison off of our streets. We don't want any other families to have to go through what we've gone through the last several years. Lastly, I want to thank my team. I want to thank my ride or die, Christina. I want to thank my best friend, Pam, my Monarch Trophy peeps who have literally been so awesome in supporting what we've done. And thank you. You know, sometimes moms, you know, we're passionate and everything. And like Nikki said, we forget about the siblings and what it's all about. But this grief process for families is really, really hard. And I want to thank my husband who has literally lifted me up and stepped alongside me along with my family in this passion that I have in fighting this fentanyl crisis. Thank you all so much, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much to our angel moms for all of this. We wouldn't be here without them. As a journalist, there are some issues that we cover, some people that we interview that just stick with us for life. This is one of those issues, and these are some of those people. Watching my friend Kathy lose her son years ago broke my heart, but watching her stand up, unite with these incredible moms and Mimis, and start all of this, I'm just in awe, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. It's been an absolute privilege to spend time and connect with each and every one of these angel moms. I'm so proud also that KSAT, the station I work for, has been leading the charge in fentanyl reporting for years. We know how serious this is. Thank you. And we know it's in our own backyards. And this is why we take this so seriously. Fentanyl's 50 times more potent than heroin and 100 times more potent than morphine. We know the amount is smaller than the tip of a pencil is deadly. It's made its way into every type of drug. That includes marijuana, that includes vapes, pills, cocaine, meth, heroin, and more. The leading cause of death for American adults 18 to 45 has been fentanyl poisoning. We are so glad to see that number dropping. Finally, and I truly believe it's because of events like this. No one person, no one family, organization can tackle this alone. No one political party, no law enforcement agency. It has to be every single one of us. And look around you right now for just a moment. Look how many people are here willing to try, willing to listen and learn, and then take what they learned today and share it with the people around him as though lives depend on it, because they do. Maybe because of you, everyone here, even if it's your first time here, even if you don't know anyone who has suffered the pain of losing someone with fentanyl, maybe because of you, that next child won't even take the pill in the first place. Maybe because of you, the parent or the business owner or the coworker will carry Narcan with them and save a life one day soon. We are here today because a group of women who experienced the world's greatest pain, losing a child, dedicated themselves to choosing life. It won't save their own children, but it will save others, and it already has. That selflessness is why I come here year after year, because if they can fight, so can all of us. This has become an official City of San Antonio event that we are so proud. Word is spreading. Our dignitaries are proof of that. If you just look up here, people from different agencies, different backgrounds, political parties, none of that matters to fentanyl. This drug does not discriminate. It affects people of all ages, races, and backgrounds. And this is why I'm so proud to be looking out here at all of you, hyper-focused on this problem that we have already bettered, and I believe we can better in the future. So to lead our program, the governor of our great state of Texas, who's here for the third year in a row, Governor Abbott. You dedicated October as Fentanyl Awareness Month to show how serious we are about fighting this drug. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me start out with the people that I'm looking at right now. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to be a part of this event. As was mentioned, I've been at every one of these walks that have taken place. And what I can tell you is this is the most people to ever show up to this. What this means is this is a growing movement here in San Antonio, a growing movement in Texas, a movement that is sweeping across the country, and know that there is strength in numbers, and we will continue to grow this movement until we purge fentanyl forever in the United States of America. I want to thank all of these officials standing behind me at every single level. Officials are sending up from the state level to the county level to the local level to our law enforcement officers who are focusing on cracking down on fentanyl and seizing it and removing it from the streets of San Antonio and the streets of the great state of Texas. They deserve a round of applause for everything they do. But mostly I want to thank these angel moms. Angel moms who may be the strongest people we have in the state of Texas. Angel moms who have had to suffer what no mom should ever have to suffer, and that is the loss of a child, especially because of one pill that killed. And these angel moms, they could have been crushed and they could have been hiding in a room, but these angel moms said no, they are not going to allow their lives to be defined by the tragedy that befell their families. Instead, they were going to respond in ways that changes the future of Texas and make Texas a better state by ensuring that everyone is going to recognize the danger of fentanyl. And thank you, angel moms, for stepping into the breach and doing something about it. It was these angel moms and others like them across the state who descended upon the Texas Capitol to ensure that we were going to pass legislation that would alter the arc of fentanyl in the state of Texas. It led to the law that made October the Fentanyl Awareness Month, because awareness is job number one, to make sure everyone's going to be aware of the dangers of fentanyl. It led to the program of One Pill Kills to educate the public. It also led to classes being taught in our schools to educate our kids. As they're learning math and science and English and history, they're also learning about the dangers of fentanyl, maybe saving their lives, which could be one of the most important things that they learn. And then also we ensured that we passed a law to make sure the state was investing money to literally save lives through the disbursement of Narcan across the state, so that somebody who's having an overdose episode will be able to quickly reach for the antidote and be saved. And with the education of the Angel Moms, we learned that fentanyl is not an overdose. It is a murder-type drug. And so we redefined the death certificate, not an overdose, but rather fentanyl poisoning, and we led to the charge of murder for anyone who provides fentanyl to someone who dies from it. And then also we have the Texas Department of Public Safety, as well as these other law enforcement agencies behind me. Just the Texas Department of Public Safety alone has seized more than enough fentanyl over the past few years that would be enough to kill every man, woman, and child in the United States, Canada, and Mexico combined. There's no telling how many people are alive today, no telling what name of what person is still walking the streets of Texas today because of the fentanyl taken off the streets by our law enforcement officers. And it's that effort that led to the revelation of what the Texas Department of Health Services published on the website just recently, showing that in the great state of Texas, fentanyl deaths have declined by more than 40%, saving lives. Despite those facts, there's another unfortunate fact that we all must understand. There's more work to be done. I learned this vividly just earlier this week when a good friend of mine explained to me that her niece had passed away because of fentanyl poisoning. I brought her card with me as Christina Pohl. And on that card is what's called an Irish blessing that I want to just quickly recite to you. It is, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon the fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. I say this knowing that in the palm of God's hand are the children of each and every one of these angel mothers, and God will hold those children in the palm of his hand until they meet again. So thank everybody for being here. Thank you for being involved in this. All I can ask is that you take the message you learned today and expand it tenfold around San Antonio, around Texas, making our city and our state an even safer place from the deadly drug of fentanyl. God bless you all, and God bless the great state of Texas.
Thank you, Governor. And we will have some more dignitaries speaking. But before we do that, I want to make sure we list some of the other dignitaries that are in attendance today. We have State Representative John Lujan, State Representative Mark LaHood. We have Senator Jose Menendez here, Houston HIDA Director Mike McDaniel, San Antonio HIDA Representative Fred Delgado, Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai, and we have BCSO Deputy Johnny Garcia, who we may be seeing in just a bit. But thank you all for being here. Even if we're not hearing a full speech, your support matters so, so much to us. Yes. Our next dignitary is here for the very first time. We are honored to have our new Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones welcome the invitation to be here and talk. Thank you, Mayor Jones, for being here. It means a lot. We know that the city of San Antonio has made its declaration, and we'd love to come hear what you are doing with the city to put this issue in perspective.
Well, thank you. Governor, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for all the dignitaries that are here all around us, and angel moms. My goodness. thank you for your courage, for your leadership, for your persistence. There is that saying, hell hath no fury, right? I think it certainly continues to apply here, and I just want to thank you for what you do to elevate this issue, that though we are seeing some success, as mentioned, due to some of the governor's efforts, this is something that continues to require our full attention. I had some prepared remarks, but I'm just going to, frankly, go a little bit off the heart here based on what I've read and based on what I've seen. Some of the profiles behind me speak to just how this unfortunate tragedy in our country requires a full effort from all of us. I mean, you have an EMT to Sydney who was not even 17 years old, a white man, a young Latina. This is something that requires all of us to have those conversations and not be too afraid to ask, hey, what are your kids, what are you doing? Who are you hanging out with? How are you feeling? What's top of mind for you? Whatever you're doing, I'm not going to judge you. So much of this, as I was hearing earlier, was about anxiety. So much about people feeling like they're going to be judged because they can't handle it all or they can't get themselves the help that they need. Nobody should be made to feel bad to do that then leads them to make choices that are not only bad for themselves, but bad for our community. I've seen the stats from SAPD in terms of the need to respond to this unfortunate scourge in our community. Part of it, I think, really starts with us understanding we've got to ask those questions. We can't judge folks, and we also have to invest in the prevention efforts, You know I'm going to date myself here, but when I was some of these young kids' age, it was Nancy Reagan and the Just Say No campaign, right? We don't necessarily have something like that just yet. I think we're raising awareness, obviously, based on these wonderful efforts, but it really does call to this kind of more need for a strategic, full-on press about how we talk about this scourge in light of what it costs our community, not only in lives lost, talent lost, but also the economic consequences of this. And so this is something that we've most certainly tried to prioritize at the city as well. But let me just reiterate that everybody, as I look at you here, everybody has a role to play on this and to speak out on it, even if it is just posting about it on social media. You never know what that could mean for somebody who is seeing it, reading it, and knows, hey, you know what, I need to go have a conversation with somebody. And sometimes that's what it can take. So know that in your city council, we are prioritizing this because we know what it means in our community, and we can't let our foot off the gas. We're seeing great progress again, but we have so much more work to do. And ensuring that, frankly, we need our federal government back up and running. We need those folks to make sure we're prioritizing the supply of critical supplies like Narcan in our community. So we've got a proclamation. I'm proud to read this in support of Fentanyl Poisoning Awareness Month. So whereas the 3rd annual Souls Walking for Souls Fentanyl Awareness Walk will take place on Sunday, October 12th at Brooks City Base, the Greenline Park. This event is hosted by Angel Moms to raise awareness for the fentanyl crisis plaguing our state and our nation. Whereas in June 2023, Governor Greg Abbott signed 4 new laws as part of the state's efforts to combat the crisis. These laws prosecute fentanyl-caused deaths as murder, require death certificates to reflect when a death was caused by fentanyl poisoning, provide more life-saving Narcan to colleges and universities, and mandate that public schools offer research-based instruction on fentanyl misuse, prevention, and awareness for students. And whereas residents are encouraged to participate in the Fentanyl Awareness Walk this Sunday, hosted by Souls Walking for Souls, the walk begins at 3 p.m. and concludes with a candlelight vigil. San Antonio area agencies will be on site to provide information on substance abuse, prevention, harm reduction, and recovery. Now, therefore, I, Gina Ortiz Jones, Mayor of the City of San Antonio, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 to be Fentanyl Poisoning Awareness Month in San Antonio, Texas. Should I take a picture?
Thank you, Mayor. We so appreciate you being here on your first opportunity. Another proclamation, ladies. Congratulations. So when we talk about a drug issue, especially one as invasive as fentanyl, we have to talk about law enforcement, and that's why you see so much law enforcement up here. We can't do this without them, and it doesn't take just one agency. So we are very lucky to have all of you here today to explain the different perspectives you have on how we're handling the fentanyl crisis. So the first person I'd like to welcome up is San Antonio Police Chief William McManus.
Thank you all very, very much. First thing I want to say is my condolences to anyone out here, Angel Moms, and anyone else out here who has lost anyone to fentanyl or any other drug for that matter. I've been fortunate enough not to ever lose anyone, but I've certainly taken enough reports over my career on overdoses and have seen the pain that it causes family and friends of those folks who are victims of fentanyl. But what I want to do is I want to take a few minutes here to talk about one of the greatest public safety threats we face today, and that is fentanyl. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid so powerful that just 2 milligrams, about the weight of a few grains of salt, can be lethal. It was originally developed for use in hospitals to manage severe pain. What we are dealing with on the streets today is not medical fentanyl. It's illicitly manufactured, cheaply made, and cut into everything from pain pills to cocaine, heroin, and meth. Pretty much every drug that everyone's using out there. Most of the people dying from fentanyl never even knew that they were taking it. The numbers tell the story. Nationwide, last year, more than 105,000 Americans died from drug overdoses, and roughly 72,000 of those involved fentanyl or other synthetic opioids. Here in Texas, about 5 people die every day from fentanyl poisoning. That's 5 families torn apart every day by a drug no bigger than a speck of dust. For every fatal overdose, there are many more who survive, but with devastating results. Those who make it through an overdose often suffer brain injury, heart or lung damage, and the trauma that comes from being pulled back from the brink of death. Many never fully recover. What makes fentanyl especially dangerous is how unpredictable it is. The person who buys one pill or one bag has no idea what's inside of it. There's no way to eyeball a safe dose. A counterfeit pill that looks like a prescription painkiller can contain enough fentanyl to kill several people. And the speed of this drug is brutal. An overdose can happen in just seconds, before anyone can call for help, before Narcan can be used, before a life can be saved. That's why we made Narcan more widely available, training our officers and educating the community on how to recognize an overdose and act quickly. Enforcement alone isn't enough. We need prevention, treatment, and honest conversations. Parents, talk to your kids about fentanyl. Teachers, coaches, mentors, remind our young people that this isn't a party drug. One pill, one time, can end a life. As a city, as a department, we're committed to fighting that crisis on every front by intercepting supply, arming the public with information that they need to fight it. Let's stay vigilant, spread awareness, and keep our community safe. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Chief, for being here. Well, expanding out of San Antonio is Bexar County, also making its strides against fentanyl in this incredibly difficult battle. Please help me welcome Sheriff Javier Salazar.
Thank you, Ms. Courtney. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much to the Angel Moms for having us out here again and for continuing to work with us. Nothing that I can say or do will ever restore you all's families to where you were on the day before you became all too familiar with this crisis. And nothing I can say up here will teach you anything new about it, because you know this topic all too well. You're all unwilling experts on this topic, although you never intended to be. And so from my perspective, from the sheriff's office perspective, I do want you to know that we have changed our philosophies and our way of doing things at the sheriff's office. We don't call it an overdose. We call it a poisoning. You all taught me that. You all work with us extensively on the One Pill Can Kill presentations that we do out in the community. At the sheriff's office, we certainly also handle these appropriately. Every time we get one of these, we look at it through the lens of a murder investigation, because they are handled to that effect. And we've for several years now pursued the federal statutes with regard to this horrible, horrible crime. And so from an enforcement perspective, it's something that we continue to do. You know, just January 31st, I believe it was, we took 500,000 pills off the streets in one fell swoop. But even then, we can't just stop and declare victory and do the touchdown dance, because we also know that while we're high-fiving on the side of the road for the 500,000 pills, how many 18-wheelers drove past us at that very same moment, loaded down to the gills with this nasty stuff, and probably driven by a U.S. citizen, because unfortunately, it's something that we're continuing to do to ourselves. And so from our perspective, what we prefer to do is pursue it, although we may never win the war through arresting this issue away. I wish we could, but the reality is that we probably won't. What we can do is continue to fight the information war. And it's through our continued partnership with the moms and different partner organizations doing our One Pill Can Kill presentations. I want to urge you to continue to take full advantage of that. If we can ever come out and teach one of these classes, a One Pill Can Kill presentation, all you have to do, and I urge you to share this email near and far and wide, onepill@bear.org is the email that you can send us. And we will come out and we will teach this class. And we don't care if there's 2 people in the room or 200 people in the room. We just want to get this information out, because truth be told, if it's an audience of 2, then that's 2 families that stand the lesser chance of becoming affected by this thing. And so the last thing that we can hope for is to continue to support you all, not just with those, but through events like this that raise awareness. And so just any time that the men and women of the Bexar County Sheriffs or myself can be of any service in this continued fight, please give us a call. We're a phone call away. Thank you so much. God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you, Sheriff, for being here. We appreciate it. Now, when we talk about law enforcement needing to step up, we mean at every single level. And you see that right here in our line of dignitaries, especially those who are so close to the issue at hand. So Lieutenant Christopher Olivares with the Department of Public Safety has a unique and incredibly important perspective. Thank you so much for being here year after year. Let me give you the mic, and you can tell us what you're working on.
Thank you. Well, this is my second year being here, and I can tell you just it's grown tremendously since last year. And it truly is an honor to be here talking about this vital, this very important cause, fentanyl awareness. And having all our officials here, elected officials, the governor, law enforcement, partners, truly shows that we're here to support you. We're here to support your loved ones, your friends, those that have lost someone because of fentanyl poisoning. We're here for you. And I think this right here is a testament to that. Having these leaders here, talking about this important cause, being here today, coming together as one to be one voice to help spread awareness. You know, I go back March of 2021. I played an extensive role on the border. Of course, we had an unprecedented surge on the border. The governor launched a statewide border mission, Operation Lone Star. And because of that, because of those initiatives, not only was it dealing with mass migration, but also was combating criminal organizations that were smuggling illicit drugs over the border, to include fentanyl. Fast forward today, because of those efforts, because of the governor's border mission, because of our law enforcement partners, because of our state troopers, all of Texas law enforcement, the Texas Department of Public Safety has seized more than 500 million lethal doses of fentanyl statewide. Now, I say that's tremendous work that our troopers are doing, our law enforcement's doing across the state, but the fight's not over. And yes, we have a more secure border now than we've ever had, but there's still more work to be done. And that's why having an event like this, Having all of you come together here today is important and shows that there is more work to do. You know, one thing is, as law enforcement, you know, we talk about the enforcement action, we talk about seizing the drugs, taking them off the streets, but what's most important is the education, educating our youth, the next generation, talking to them, monitoring their social media. Criminal organizations, they are going to try to find ways to get their drugs across no matter what. And that's where you come in. Our media partners, they come in as well, helping to spread that awareness so we can educate not only our children, our youth, but also going out to schools. And that's one thing that we are doing statewide as part of the governor's initiative, One Pill Kills campaign, is going out to schools, educating the next generation so we can help save lives. I can tell you these events, they continue to grow, but what's most important is coming together as one. Your loved ones, seeing all these faces out here, all these angels out here, it truly is remarkable. And I can't even imagine the angel moms, the courage, your resilience, how you continue to fight every single day no matter what, because you are committed, you're dedicated to not only honoring your loved ones, to pay tribute to your loved ones, but you want to help save lives. It truly shows how much you care about this cause. And I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. As a father, I want to thank all of you to continue to fight and not give up. I will say this, as the governor's mentioned, also all our elected officials here, Texas will continue to lead the fight against fentanyl. Our fight's not over. We need your support. We need your help. And I can guarantee you, I can reassure you that law enforcement will do their part to help save lives. Thank you. And I'll just close with this. You know, as I mentioned, as a parent, last year I brought my daughter here, and I've taken her to other events. I was in D.C. last year for events similar to this. And I do that because I want her to see just the amount of people out here, the support, how everybody comes together no matter the devastation that you have may felt over the years because of the loss of your loved ones. It truly is remarkable to see that. And I cannot just urge you enough to continue fighting, continue having these events, continue coming together to be one voice to help spread awareness. And that's what we're going to do here today, and we'll continue doing that moving forward. And your loved ones right now will be so proud of you, looking down on you right now on what you're doing and how you continue to fight, how you continue to move forward, how you continue to contribute to the communities to help save lives. You're not alone in this fight. As you can see here, all these people that are standing up here today, law enforcement across the state, we're here for you. We're going to continue being here for you. The fight's not over. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's such a good point. I know we've said it many times before. The angel moms have said it. This is not just a solemn day. Of course, there's a candlelight vigil at the end of this, but this is a day of celebration that we're all coming together. I love seeing all the little kiddos. Mine's running around like crazy somewhere out here. But I want these kids to grow up remembering that they've been at these walks and remembering that this is such a serious issue. Hopefully by the time the little ones are older, this won't be a problem anymore. The next person I would like to introduce is a new dignitary for the first time at our event. We are thrilled to have his expertise and background. Earlier this week, we had a KSAT town hall on fentanyl awareness, and Wendell was here, Wendell Campbell, the Houston HIDTA drug intelligence officer, former DEA agent, which is extremely important to have that perspective. You were instrumental in teaching us the nitty-gritty parts of this, which as the public, we do need to know. So I'd like to welcome up Wendell Campbell, please.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? Come on, we can do a little bit better than that. Can we just a little bit? How are y'all doing? Woo! All right. That's good. Good energy, and we need that, right? Well, listen, Martin Luther King once said, "The time is always right to do what is right." That's a great quote, is it not? And when I saw that, I thought that would be appropriate for us today because now is the time. You know, as a state, we are not just here fighting against drugs and drugs on the streets, and we're not here just fighting against more illicitly manufactured fentanyl on the streets and more fake pills, no matter how many shapes and sizes they put them in. But we're fighting for something much greater. We're fighting for people's hearts. we're fighting for people's souls, and we're fighting for people's lives. And every fake pill manufactured, every dose of fentanyl that hits the streets, there's a choice. And that has the power to either take a life or save a life. And there's a lot at stake here that we're dealing with. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a long, enduring tour. Since 2014, working both as a DEA agent and working with HIDTA task forces and so forth, we started seeing the rise of what was called fake pills on the streets. And those fake pills have grown since that time. There's been tremendous action taken. There has been great legislation passed, but there is still more to do. So this afternoon, this isn't just about drug awareness and education, even though that's part of it, but this is more of a call to action once again, a refreshment to step up, a reminder that we are to remain vigilant, seriously vigilant, and realize that this fight against fentanyl and the various new drugs moving into our community, that it's not just something happening somewhere else in another state or on the East Coast and so forth, but it's happening right here in our backyard. Unfortunately, it's happening in our local schools, our universities, our places of business, and our homes, and it's stealing lives far too young and far too soon. This past week, I was on the phone with CDC looking at some data sets, and I'm thankful to say that nationwide, and has been identified for the state of Texas, and I'm grateful for, we're seeing the number of deaths go down. That's a great thing, is it not? Good progress. So right before I was meeting with Angel Moms last week and we were doing the town hall, here's some of the data that I was able to receive from the CDC, and these were currently crunched numbers from them. But we're looking at about 6,247 people a month dying somewhere across the United States. That's over 205 people every single day that's still dying right now. So there's more that we can do. In my conversation with them, we went on, and it was expressed to me that we have about 48 million Americans. That's 17% of our population dealing with a substance use disorder. But I was received that data with a caveat, and here's the caveat. It said that these numbers can be underreported by as much as 25 to 30%. So think about that. So there's still more for us to do. Fentanyl, and what I've learned in my career and what I've seen working with families through my position with Houston HIDTA, working with South Texas HIDTA, is fentanyl does not care who you are. It doesn't care how you administer it to your body. It has the same result. The drug dealer doesn't care who you are, and illicitly manufactured fentanyl is a ruthless, toxic substance disguised as a drug. It's a poison, and it's deadly, and one pill, one choice, one moment of curiosity just to see what it would be like can end a lifetime of promise. The chains of addiction are too light to feel at the beginning. However, until later, they're too heavy to be broken. I lost a family member a while back to substance use disorder, and the reality of that statement hit me very strongly. It started small and built over time. We're facing a lot of challenges. Y'all have heard those challenges that we're still facing, but a lot of progress has been made, and together we are stronger. The Angel Moms of Souls Walking for Souls have proved that strongness and walking together time and again by the way they've been reaching out to the communities, the way they've been educating the communities, and because of their passion and desire, we're all here today. So let's give it up for the Angel Moms. Yeah. Edmund Burke noted that evil triumphs when good people do nothing. Well, I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot of good people here today. I've met many of you. And there's a lot of good people in San Antonio and the state of Texas, and we're doing something about it. We're out fighting for our sons. We're out fighting for our daughters, and we're out fighting for other people's sons and daughters as well. And we're fighting for other families every minute of every day because we know the devastating effects of this drug. With that said, we choose courage over comfort. We stay vigilant, and the reason why is because we're still losing lives. We need to stay on point and stay focused. It's easy to get distracted and drift if we're not careful. We're seeing new and an ever-changing drug threat move into our local communities. New types of opioids are floating in through fake pills and other devices. For example, a drug called nitazines. Anybody heard nitazines out there? Okay, a few of you. This is a new synthetic opioid that's popping up through enforcement operations in the state of Texas. Not only, I'm sure, DPS is seizing, but we're also seeing it through the HIDTA task forces. And this particular synthetic opioid is similar to fentanyl, but a report recently put out by the University of Texas shows that nitazines, on average, are 5 to 40 times more potent than fentanyl. So when this product is showing up in pills, it is deadly, and it makes people start breathing even quicker. And as opposed to maybe 2 or 3 doses of Narcan, we're seeing 7 and 8 to reverse those opioid overdoses related to that type of toxicity level and poisoning. There's another product on the streets that's popping up in each and every local store that I've personally seen, literally from Beaumont to LaPorte, Texas, and around San Antonio, and it's a product called Kratom. Anybody seen Kratom in your local stores? A lot of Kratom hands going up there. Kratom is a tropical plant out of Southeast Asia. It contains a psychoactive compound specifically referred to as 7-OH, which affects our brain receptors similar to the opioids out on the streets. 7-OH can be very addictive. It can act like a stimulant, but it can also act like an opioid, and it's being sold on every corner store out there. It's amazing how prevalent it is. The Texas Department of State Health Services recently put out a report on 7-OH that studies show that it can be up to 13 times more potent than morphine, and we have people buying this product right out of stores in the state of Texas. So we definitely have the challenges before us, and the education needs to continue. With these new drugs, we do need to remain diligent and stay focused and realize that we can help people out there. Our message must be louder than the lies on social media. Would you not agree? We need to put the word out there. Our actions must be stronger than the addiction. We can't give up. We got to keep fighting because we're fighting for people's souls. Our compassion and love must outlast this crisis. And we see a lot of positive energy and a lot of support from our elected officials. Our pursuit must be relentless to remove the drug dealer off the streets. We need to pursue them, track them down, and put them in prison. With that said, every one of us can be a light to somebody. Every one of us can be a light to that struggling student, high school student, college student, that person feeling pain, that friend. Listen, your spoken word can encourage them, and you can breathe life into them by what you say to people. One encouraging word can give hope to somebody and help them change their direction. A gentleman by the name of Billy Graham is quoted as saying, "Courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are often stiffened." Well, we need some stiff spines. We need people to stand up and start telling the truth about what this drug and these other drugs are doing in our community, and draw the line in the sand with the drug dealers in our neighborhoods and our local communities. So with that said, listen, let's keep fighting as a group. Let's join together. Let's keep saving lives, one choice, one conversation at a time, one person at a time, because together we can stand stronger. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wendell. We appreciate it. It's so important to be up to speed on what is out there, and that's why these frank conversations are so important. Our last speaker is arguably the most important, because this is the person with the perspective of what it's like to lose a child. It's one of our amazing angel moms, and I know Martha earlier and in several stories we've done with her before has said this. One of our other angel moms, or Angel Mimi, wherever she is, she says something so crucial, that you need to start educating your kids as young as 10. Now, when a lot of us hear that, it makes us a little bit stressed out, right? Well, there are the right words to say, and it is crucial. And that's why Kim Gillihan is here, because her loss hit so early. And we so appreciate you being brave enough to share the story with us. Please welcome Kim.
Hello, everyone. So thank you for being here. And if you're here and you've lost someone to this horrible drug, I'm so very sorry. This is my son, Joshua. He is so beautiful, but I'm biased. He was only 14, so I'm actually AKA Joshua's mom, forever 14. So Joshua's story is so important to tell because he was only 14, but because of the comment that was made, how soon do we start educating? Joshua lost his life in 2022 when we didn't really know about fentanyl. And so, you know, we were educating on things, but fentanyl was definitely not, you know, one of those. So Joshua was a very happy kid. He had a lot of friends. He was a very typical, normal kid. He loved to ride dirt bikes. He loved to play video games, hang out with his friends. He was a very social kid, just very typical. And our problems started during COVID. And going through COVID at the time, I didn't really think it was going to be that big of a deal for us, but it ended up being the worst thing that ever happened. One day, he was out riding his bike with his friends, which we were so happy about, because during COVID, all the kids were in the house playing video games all the time. And so, you know, once things got a little bit further along and we started feeling a little bit more comfortable, we started letting him hang out with his friends again, outside and different things. And so we were thrilled. He's not on the video game. He's out riding his bike with his friends. And so he was taking golf lessons at the time. And so we were like, hurry up, get home. We're late for your golf lesson. So he comes home, and my husband at the time, Joshua's father, noticed that he made it a point to run upstairs really quick and put his backpack away instead of just hopping in the car. And his spidey senses went off, and so he went upstairs and looked in the backpack, trying to figure out why it was so important for him to put his backpack away, and he found marijuana. Josh was only 12 years old whenever this happened. I'm 55. That wasn't my thing when I was young, very ignorant about that sort of thing. So we were just shocked, horrified, and scared to death. And so some people would say, well, why were you so worried? It was only marijuana. But I was really worried because I had a brother that passed away from a drug overdose when Joshua was just a baby. And I know that addiction runs in families, and so I was very concerned. So we started trying to figure out why. Why is this 12-year-old kid messing with drugs? And so we started counseling, and lots of things, you know, we learned a lot of things. He had been diagnosed with ADHD. He did have some anxiety. He was in middle school, for God's sakes. I think that would cause anxiety for just about anyone. And so it was just a hard time. It was during COVID. It was all the things. It was almost like a perfect storm, I feel like. And as we got into it all, the bottom line was he loved the way it made him feel. He literally told me, it's like my medicine. It makes me feel normal. I study better with it. He absolutely loved it. And so I'm like, this is insanity. I just could not even comprehend what was happening in my house. So we kept going to counseling and all the things, and this was like a 2-year battle with this marijuana issue. We ended up finally relenting and actually putting him on like Lexapro because we were trying to treat the anxiety and hoping that If we did that, then he wouldn't seek out, the marijuana. I don't know if you know all about this, but, marijuana, aside from the fentanyl fact that it's not safe, even if it's just good old marijuana, it is not safe or good for children whose brains are developing. Your brains are not developed properly and fully until you're like 23, 25, 26 years old. So when you start using drugs like that at this young of an age, especially today with as potent as marijuana is, you are absolutely damaging your brain. My kid was very smart, and I had great plans for him. And my main concern was, number one, he was going to damage his very smart brain and not have a good life. Or number two, he was going to go down the road that my brother went and become an addict later in life. I'm not thinking that my 14-year-old kid is going to get a hold of something that's going to kill him instantly. So we did the counseling, we policed him, we searched the stuff, we went through the phone. He would be grounded and then ungrounded and all the things that we do. And we battled this for, like I said, 2 years off and on. So fast forward to the summer in between 8th grade and his freshman year of high school. And he got in trouble for other things like riding his dirt bike in the neighborhood and getting a ticket, or having friends over when I wasn't home when he wasn't supposed to. And so we were just like, you know what? We're over it. We took his phone away again, and we literally locked him down. And we were like, you're not going to spend the night with anyone. I think he could have like one friend over, but he had to have parental, people around or whatever all the time. So we did that for the summer, and we had a great summer. He did great. All of his friends were telling us that they felt like he was doing great. And so went through the summer. So school starts. And it was the first week of school. He was so excited about being a freshman. And, like I said, he was a fun kid. He was looking forward to lots of fun things. And so I was trying to motivate him. You take their phone away, you do all those things. But those are negative things, and we have to do those things. But you also have to try to motivate in positive ways. So I thought, well, we're going to let him know that he is not going to ride in cars with his friends. They get driver's licenses. He's not going to get a driver's license. He's not going to have that opportunity. Like, he's got to make good decisions, or we're not going to reward him with any of these things he's looking forward to doing. And so he goes to school the first week, and every day he's like, just great. He's excited. He loves it, And so it was the Friday of the first week of school, and I was really busy because I was going out of town the next day. And so we are sitting at my island, and I had grabbed like fast food. It was Sonic. And we're talking, and he's telling me all about his first week at school. And he had such a great time, and he met a girl. And he wanted to invite her to homecoming, and homecoming was like 2 weeks after school started or something. And he was asking me, how do we get a mom and all that? And I told him I would take care of that. And he said, Mom, I'm really going to try for school, because he was really smart. He could make good grades, but he just wouldn't get his work done. It was just a constant crap, of the whip or whatever. But he understood that this is when it matters. I hoped he was going to go to Texas A&M. I'm an Aggie. Sorry, but whoop. So I was brainwashing him as much as I could, his whole life, and trying to push him in that direction. And, whatever he would have done would have been wonderful, but I would have hoped he wouldn't have gone to UT. Sorry, UT people. But anyway, but whatever he would have wanted, I would have dealt with it. But so he was he was doing really, really good. So we had our hamburger, and then he walked up the stairs, and that was the last time that I saw him walk up the stairs. And I can still see it right now. And I could try to remember, did I hug him? But I don't think so, because why would I? You don't hug your kid every time you see them. So you're not thinking, oh, I better give him a hug, because this is the last time I'm ever going to be able to do that. So I don't think I did. But he walked up the stairs, and I just went about my evening. I was leaving town the next day for a business thing, and I was washing clothes and packing stuff, and all the things you do. And he was up in his room the rest of the night, which is very normal. I mean, do your teenage kids ever come out of their room? And his dad came home from work, and he said, you know, how's it going? And I said, oh, it's good. I said, we had the best talk tonight. I said, he's doing so good. He's so excited about this year. I literally said, I think we've turned the corner. I think we've turned the corner. I think he gets it. I think everything we've done over the past 2 years, I think he is finally mature enough and he's waking up or whatever, you know? He says, oh God, I hope so. And then he goes, he had to work early at the hospital the next morning, so, you know, he goes and says something to Josh and then goes to bed. And I didn't know that at this moment until later, but he had called Joshua on his way home from work that night and said, hey, son, you know, how was your week or how was your day or whatever? And they chit-chatted, and he said, okay, Joshua, you know, your mom's going out of town tomorrow, and you're going to have some freedom, because he didn't have any freedom for a long time. And he was trying to build trust, and he basically said, you know, this is your chance. Like, make good decisions, you know, et cetera, et cetera. This is your chance, you know. We're giving you this freedom. And Joshua said, don't worry, Dad. I'm not going to screw this up. And that was it. Those were the last words he ever said to his father. And so I'm sitting on the couch watching TV on my computer or whatever, like normal. And I'm washing my clothes and I'm packing my stuff until about 1 o'clock in the morning. I hear Joshua playing video games. I hear him talking. You know, the walls in these houses, they don't build them like they used to. And then I didn't hear it. And I didn't think anything of it. It was like between 11 and 12. There was no red flag. That was normal. It was the first week of school. He's exhausted. He's been staying up all night for all summer. Now he's been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's exhausted. So it wasn't anything abnormal at all. My son's bedroom is directly above my bedroom. My son literally died in his bed directly above my bedroom, and I had no idea. So the next morning comes around, and Dad's gone to work. I'm scurrying around trying to get my stuff ready. My Uber is waiting. My suitcases are on the front porch. I've got my traveling backpack on my back, and at the last minute, I think to myself, oh my gosh, I've got to run upstairs and give Josh a hug. He hated for me to travel. I had to travel a lot with my job. And he would have been so upset if I hadn't gone and said goodbye. So I went up the stairs, and I called his name, and he didn't answer me. But that wasn't abnormal because he's a really hard sleeper. Called his name again. He didn't answer me. So then I reached down to touch him, and he was really cold. And I remember thinking, well, after I screamed, I remember thinking, wait a minute. His room is just really cold. It always was. Maybe I just can warm him up. You know, maybe he's just too cold. You know, and then I made the calls to the cousin and the neighbor across the street and the husband and the 911. And that was it. My kid was gone. And I had no idea really why, but I knew he took something because there was no other explanation. But I didn't know what until 3 months later. And so here we are, this kid, my only kid, that I did 5 in vitro fertilizations to get, that I had 11 days before I turned 38 years old. My whole world is gone. And later we would find out that he took a pill that he thought was a Percocet, and it was pure fentanyl. The only thing in his system was Lexapro and fentanyl, and it was enough fentanyl to kill an elephant. The only good thing I have to say is that I think it was peaceful. He looked just like he was sleeping, but I play that through my head every single day. And the people that are with me on a daily basis would never know that, but there is not a single day that goes by that I do not relive that morning every day of my life. And so I tell this story because everybody needs to understand that there is nothing safe out there, nothing. All the pills are fake. They're lacing vapes. They're lacing marijuana. Everything has fentanyl in it. And no experimentation is safe today. And the kids don't want to listen to their parents. So if you have kids here today that are younger, yes, of course, talk to them. But you've got to show them these stories of these kids that are younger, 7, whatever. You've got to get on their level, and you've got to show them it's not just in Seattle with, you know, people that are doing this stuff all the time. It literally can be you, and it just takes one time. So thank you so much. Again, so sorry for you guys that have lost people to this horrificness. If there's anyone here that wants a Joshua bracelet or a flyer with his Texas Picture story, there's a table over there next to the TXAF that you can feel free to take a flyer and a bracelet. But just, you know, talk to your kids and hug them, and always, you know, take a lot of pictures, because this picture was taken the day he got his braces off. Who would have ever dreamed that the picture that I took of him standing in front of the candy cabinet at the orthodontist office would be the picture that graces almost every fentanyl poster or whatever, you know, that I have. You never know when that's going to be the situation. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim, for sharing that. So many of us can't imagine what that's like, what the bravery and strength that it takes for all of these angel moms. I will speak collectively that we're in awe of you. And I hope that everyone will join me today in promising to spread this message wherever possible. We can make change. The numbers, as we've said, are already down. So the time to dig in and teach those around us is right now. I encourage you to pick up some free Narcan, find out where your friends and your coworkers can get it, bring it to them, carry it with you, and learn how to use it. There's the Red Corazon Ministries tent back there. They are doing Narcan trainings. It takes 30 seconds. It's not hard. Carry it with you wherever you go. You never know when you'll be able to save a life. Round of applause, please, for our angel moms and dignitaries. Thank you all so much for being here. All right, the time is now. We're going to do this beautiful walk and remember why we're here, but also celebrate life and what we have coming before us and the difference that we can make. You can walk over to the big balloon arch by the moon to start the 1 mile walk around the Greenline Trail. And when you finish, please stay and enjoy the music, food trucks, vendors, and of course, the very special Texas Memorial Walkway. It's beautiful and